I think FPA very much appreciate this move towards, the next slide, please. Fully supports this move towards openness and transparency, because I think we heard that already a couple of times this morning, what is going on in terms of discussions at the side of the EMEA and among one stakeholder, the industry, is not very transparent to the public per se. And so they just don't understand what is going on and have a lack of trust in what is going on there and have a lack of trust in the decisions coming out of the system. So in order to engage a spectrum of stakeholders affected by the safety of medicines, and we had a very impressive talk by the patient organization this morning, this would be a means to enhance this openness and to enhance hopefully also the public understanding and the trust of the public into what is going on in the safety of medicines, the patients, the healthcare professionals. Now, from an FPR perspective, we have been involved in the discussions and already had a position paper early on what we think needs to be the prerequisites for using this public hearing system. And we appreciate also already seeing some clarifications coming out in the Directive 2010/84, where it states that public hearings should only take place on justified grounds, and that has been interpreted by us, meaning that not each and every issue and each and every product should constantly be publicly discussed. And also due regard shall be given to the therapeutic effect of the medicinal products. Now, this has always been a very core request from industry, that we don't see the risk of a product as an isolated event and only discuss on the risk, but always put this into the perspective of the efficacy of the benefit, the therapeutic effect of the product. So it's always a benefit-risk evaluation and not just looking at the risks, especially when you're going out to the public, when you're discussing this topic in the public. An isolated view on only the risks will certainly not enhance the trust in medication that patients and the public have. And you can always see that when you're having these headlines coming up, a drug has killed so and so many patients, there is usually in the whole article not a single word how many patients' lives have actually been saved by the product. And so the view is always medicines just kill people, and people tend to forget that they save a lot of lives. Now, from our side, and I'm happy to see the further need for clarification that industry as a stakeholder in this sees is actually mirrored already in what we saw in the introductory remarks. I think we would like to see some clear criteria on what actually constitutes the justified grounds that needs to be made available, so everyone understands at what point in time a discussion on a risk or a product will probably be in a public arena. I think the marketing authorization holders, though it may be an obvious thing, I think should be a significant contributor to these meetings. I mean, if you look at the example you mentioned, the AdCom meetings at the FDA, their industry is involved. The marketing authorization holder or license holder for a product is part of the presenting parties. Information on upcoming hearings should really be timely and allow for sufficient preparation. And I can't give you an exact date or number of days or months, but I think since I saw it this morning already in the perspective of urgent safety restrictions, I think that would be a very difficult situation, because urgent safety restrictions usually imply that there is a need to act very quickly, and public hearings need certainly more than a couple of days in terms of preparation. That's at least industry experience. When you have prepared for an AdCom, it's the industry that puts a lot of work into it, but I certainly have come to appreciate how much work also needs to be put into that from the agency perspective. So in summarizing the position, I think we think it can be a good tool to involve the public and to also promote the understanding of how the decision-making process in the healthcare system is running. But it needs to always be a balanced discussion on the benefits and the risk. Thank you.